Welcome to the Restricted Area. It's your favorite NBA video show from the Athletics YouTube channel. It's also the only NBA video show from the Athletics YouTube channel right now. I'm Zach Harper. That's Wosny Lambre just dancing for some reason. By the way, last minute gift idea, theathletic.com/restricted area. You can buy yourself a gift of a subscription to The Athletic, and in doing so, you can gift one from that person you forgot to shop for. It's a buy one, gift one.
Sign me up!
One of the most confusing things in professional sports is the NBA collective bargaining agreement. Inside of this matrix is something called the max contract. In 1997, Kevin Garnett signed a 6-year, $126 million contract at the age of 21, and it broke the league. NBA owners decided that they needed to create a max deal in order to cap what players could demand in free agency.
And really, Zach, what set the owners off probably more than anything was the Juwan Howard offer, where he got offered over $100 million contract, and it just scared the pants off of all of them. But really, yes, KG, 6 years, $126 million at 21 years old, really set that off.
And it brought us the 1998 NBA lockout. And out of those negotiations for the new collective bargaining agreement, we got rookie scaling, we got restricted free agency, and the big kahuna of it all, the max contract. But there was still a problem.
Yes, they were not satisfied with artificially capping the amount that players could earn for their exploits on the court. They then found new things to carp and moan about, Zach. They started complaining about the length of NBA deals. They were signing guys like Chris Webber and Allen Houston, who halfway through their deals, and in Allen Houston's case, like basically year one of his deal, they were no longer good contracts, and they had these albatrosses stuck around their necks for years after these players were sort of useful. So they started being pissed about the length of these deals, Zach.
Who would have thought the Maloofs would make a bad deal? It's so weird. Then we fast forward to 2011, 2012. Another lockout. You know why? Because the owners were pissed about the Miami Heat and their big three. And we know LeBron wasn't happy about this either. LeBron said, "At the end of the day, I don't think I can be compensated for what I do on the court because of the new CBA."
Zach, the latest CBA fix-all for the owners is the Supermax extension, a provision by which NBA owners can pay their homegrown superstars way more money than they could otherwise get in free agency. Definitely an enticement that was created with an eye towards small market guys keeping their big stars. And perhaps if this existed 45 years ago, the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would have never been part of the Showtime Lakers.
Hey, you know, Woz, the Supermax is still kind of a work in progress for the NBA with retaining its players. But it did just have a huge victory. Giannis Antetokounmpo agreed to a 5-year, $228 million deal, which is a record for the NBA, to stay in Milwaukee. And it got us thinking, what are some of the best and worst deals from this latest extension season? Let's get into that list now, Woz. Woz, you know me, I'm an optimistic guy, so I want to start off with the good contract extensions. And we got to start out with Giannis, right? 5 years, $228 million to stick with the Milwaukee Bucks. This is major, major news.
Yeah, when the owners were all in their feelings after KD left for Golden State and created a super team, this is what the point of designing the Supermax was for, right? The Bucks built conference finals championships, 2 straight regular season best record teams. Of course, they flamed out in the second round last playoffs, but still, they built really good teams around Giannis. They've been competent, and they got rewarded with Giannis signing a 5-year extension. He's locked in for the next 5 years for sure, Zach.
Yeah, absolutely. Although it's got me thinking, you think Giannis finishes out that extension in Milwaukee or gets traded?
Come on, Zach. Don't do this to the Bucks fans. They just got their man. Let them enjoy the great feeling of having the best player literally since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar locked in for the next 6 seasons, honestly. Moving on to LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers. He signs a 2-year, $85 million deal, Zach. This is his first extension since 2007.
I mean, of course the Lakers are going to do this, right? You just won a title. He's their best player. He's the best player in the league. People are saying, oh, maybe he's MVP because of what happened in the bubble. Like, he's LeBron. Why wouldn't you sign LeBron? This is what you do.
Right, and I think the reason why LeBron does it is he's sensing his sort of NBA mortality here, and this is a smart way for him to guarantee himself big money, right up into the age of 40, which is basically unprecedented in this league.
And then we get Brandon Ingram, a 5-year rookie extension for $158 million with the New Orleans Pelicans. They just traded Anthony Davis to acquire him and a bunch of other guys, and this is what it's designed to do, right? You want to make sure you keep your young star. He just became an all-star. Waz, he's really freaking good.
Yeah, I'm a huge Brandon Ingram fan. I'd like to see him make some strides on the defensive end this season because he definitely upped his offensive output last season. But no, Zach, honestly, when I look at this deal, what I think about is a small-time team like the New Orleans Pelicans not screwing around and saying, hey, why don't you go out and go find a deal, Brandon Ingram? And then him coming back with a poison pill type of contract, and then them complaining when they ultimately lose him way sooner down the line. No, they didn't pull a Utah. They didn't screw around like Utah did with Gordon Hayward. They gave him 5 years, they maxed him out, and now they get to keep him.
And then, of course, we have Paul George, 4 years, $176 million with the Los Angeles Clippers to extend. And Waz, I have my issues with Paul George. I don't know that I believe in him, but as a second guy, you can still get your head around it, even though he was horrible in the playoffs, and he's horrible in the playoffs every single year since Indiana. But Waz, if it keeps Kawhi around, it's a good deal.
Right, that and they gave up a boatload of assets and stuff to get him into town. So the idea that they wouldn't try to lock him in for as long as they can that's just a non-starter. So you gotta like the deal for that reason. But you know why I laugh, Zach, is because Paul George is somebody who left Indiana, wanted to get to LA, ends up in OKC, re-signs there, then of course forces his way out and makes his way to LA anyway.
Oh, but I'm not allowed to talk about Giannis leaving Milwaukee still. Cool. All right, Waz, it's time to be a Debbie Downer and go over the bad contract extensions. And we'll start with Rudy Gobert, le big man from the Utah Jazz. 5 years, $205 million. Now, he wanted a supermax. The Jazz said, no, we'll just compromise with, $40 million a year. But he does give you a top 5 defense every year. They've been good ever since they turned over the keys to him as the big man of this team. Waz, this is a great extension for the regular season.
Au contraire, mon frere. This is a horrible contract for the playoffs, buddy. Typically, you sign a guy close to a supermax deal. You would hope that maybe this guarantees you of having a guy who maybe could catch the ball and give you a bucket in crunch time in a playoff series, or maybe could guarantee you first round advances in the playoffs. He doesn't do any of those things for you. I don't know that this deal was worth $200 million, man.
All right, what about Kyle Kuzma, Los Angeles Lakers? 3 years, $40 million. It's not a huge extension, right? But I'm not sure I would have given this to him because I think he hasn't really proven enough. Like, he's kind of a scorer, but not really. He's kind of a shooter, but not really. They need him to be more than that. They need him to prove that he's gonna be one of the best guys on that team.
Yeah, this is the type of deal you give somebody that you hope that they grow into, right? In Kuzma's case, I think the Lakers are hoping that he becomes more of a 3-and-D type of guy, right? Locks in on defense, knocks down open jumpers when they come to him, because with LeBron and AD on his team, he's gonna have plenty of those in his diet. So I think they're just hoping that he gets better and one day is worth the contract they just gave him.
And worst case scenario, you paid $40 million for clout.
All right, Zach, another contract extension that some people might have winced at. I might not be one of those people. De'Aaron Fox of the Sacramento Kings just signed for 5 years, $163 million, Zach. I think what they're hoping is that maybe he becomes a top 5 point guard in the league someday. Something makes me think that you don't see that happening for him.
I just don't know. Like, he's good, but I don't know if he's top 5 in the league during this contract extension good. And I kind of think the Kings are just forced to do this as a small market team. They don't really have anything going for them. They passed on Luka Doncic. I think the Kings are kind of toast when it comes to this.
Next up, Zach, we got Gordon Hayward, who just signed a deal with the Charlotte Hornets and Michael Jordan for 4 years at $120 million. Zach.
Wait, Waz. That's not an extension. That was just a straight up free agency contract. In fact, it was a sign and trade legally.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I hate it, so it's here.
Okay, I understand you hate it. Can I interest you in another white guy?
I'm listening.
Okay, what about Luke Kennard? Just traded to the Clippers, couple of preseason games, and he's getting a 4-year, $64 million extension to be a Clipper. And this one, Kawhi Leonard said that Luke is locked in. I kind of think maybe they thought his name was Luka Kennard. I'm not quite sure about this one, Waz.
I'm somebody who actually likes Luke Kennard. Nice little combo guard, can shoot it a little bit, initiate offense a little bit, but he's got a bum knee. I don't know about 16 mil a year, 58 mil guaranteed, bro.
I guess none of it matters when it's Steve Ballmer's pockets, but yeah, I think I'm with you on this one. And then just a quick one to throw in was the Orlando Magic 3-year, $50 million extension with Markelle Fultz. If I told you in 2017 that Markelle Fultz, off his rookie contract, was going to get a 3-year, $50 million extension with whatever team he was on, how many limbs do you think he's lost at this point?
Dude, I don't think anybody would have believed that at this point in 2017. In fact, there was whispers around that time that the 4th year on his rookie deal might not even be picked up. He was so bad when he first started. It's amazing that Orlando's gone all in and invested in this kid.
Hold on, let me check my pre-draft. Oh yeah, I was in on Markelle Fultz. It's a great deal. You know, Waz, 'tis the season, and Friday the NBA has their 5 annual Christmas Day games. But I'm curious, what's your favorite NBA Christmas memory?
Man, for me, it has to be 2012. It was coming off of LeBron and the Heat's first championship together, and they played the Oklahoma City Thunder, who they had just beaten in the finals, right? So it's your classic finals rematch. But more importantly, it was the 2 best perimeter guys in the league going toe-to-toe. The game went down to the wire. I think KD dropped about 33 points. LeBron had 29. It was just a classic showcase of might versus might, you know, the future and the present of the league going at it.
So this year, this Friday, here's what I'm hoping for. Now, obviously, Luka versus LeBron. It's the real LeBron against the future LeBron. And you've got, you know, Kyrie Irving going back to Boston. He's going to be saging everything, trying to get some revenge. You got all that. But you know what? I'm in on Zion Williamson on Christmas Day. I want to see him. I don't care that the Pelicans got 100 national TV games on a 72-game schedule. I want to see Zion. I want to see him dunk on someone. I want to see him come to the arena dressed as Santa Claus, and I want him giving out presents of dunk and dunk and dunk all damn morning. That'll do it, everybody. Thanks for watching The Restricted Area. Make sure you subscribe to The Athletic's YouTube channel for more videos, and check out The Athletic NBA Show podcast, free wherever you find podcasts, and ad-free when you subscribe to The Athletic.